So welcome everyone to this yoga class this evening. I am recording this for the purposes of an assignment. So if you could just give me a thumbs up if you are consenting to that being recorded, that'd be great. And if for any reason, so I can see you all on the screen now, if for any reason you do need to leave the room, go to the bathroom, just give me a thumbs up, or if you get a phone call, or if something does come up for you need to go, I'll check in with you after we've finished. But otherwise, we'll get going. So hope you've got everything there in your home that you need to be really nice and comfortable on this wet evening. So we're going to begin with a little bit of shaking. So I think we'll start just with one side. So just beginning to shake. Maybe your right hand, doesn't really matter, whichever one you feel like, but just one hand. So just shaking from the wrist, letting the fingers go nice and floppy. Just notice how that feels. And then let it come up to the elbow, see how that feels. Let the lower arm go a bit floppier. And then all the way up to the shoulder. Just let that whole arm nice and loose and soft, floppy. And you might sort of take it out to the side. You might like to take it overhead. And just giving it a really good shake. And then stop and pause. And then just notice how that arm feels, the hands, the wrists, compared to the other side. And then we'll do that on the other side. So just beginning to shake through that other hand, through the fingers, thumbs, the joints, the wrist, feeling into that. And then letting that come up to the elbow. Let the whole lower arm go wobbly. And then all the way up to the shoulder. You might like to take it out to the side. Take it overhead, give it a shake. Just let the arm be nice and floppy. So you shake and activate, wake up all the cells. And then you might like to bring the other arm back in again. Just bring both arms in, giving them a bit of a shake. You might like to bring your arms up in front. You might take them out to the side. You might take one up, one down. Just notice what you would like to do. You're just gently shaking through the body this evening. And then let the arms come to be down by the sides. Just pause. Notice what you feel in your body. Then we'll do a little bit of the same for the legs. So take your weight over onto one foot and just beginning to gently shake through the ankle, grabbing a chair or a bit of wall for support if you need to. Feeling into that ankle, the foot, and then taking it up to the knee, shaking the lower leg, let that go nice and wobbly. And then all the way up to the hip, going easy if you've got any hip issues. Just feeling that whole leg go nice and floppy. You might stay with that, or you might like to try taking it out to the side. You might come up, take the leg behind, using the arms, a bit of balance, popping the foot down whenever you need to. And then coming back to the front. And then place that leg down. And just notice, pause how that leg feels compared to your other leg. And let's do that on the other side. So shaking through that ankle, toes, underside of the foot, and then up to your knee. Let that whole leg go nice and floppy from the knee down. Checking in with your balance. And then all the way up to your hip. Let the whole leg go nice and floppy. You might stay with this, or you might like to experiment with taking that leg out to the side, and taking it out behind, coming forward for a bit of balance, and then coming back to the front. And then you might give everything a bit of a gentle shake. Just notice how your body feels now. If you've arrived fully on the mat and just shaken off a bit of maybe that excess energy, or got a bit of energy if you're feeling a bit tired. And then we might bring in a little bit of twisting from the base of the spine. It's a bit of a swinging twist. So just let that movement come from the base of your spine. Let the arms be loose and floppy, just letting them go along for the ride. Just feel into your spine. Notice how it's feeling this evening. And you might begin to sort of bring that opposite heel off, bring a bit of a dip in your knees. You might like to experiment with having the hands come up a bit higher. And mid back. Just notice how that feels in your spine, maybe taking the feet a little wider apart. Maybe bring the arms up a little bit higher. Maybe come up on a bit of an angle. Maybe see how it feels to let the neck and the head come into the twist. And any of these movements that we're doing this evening, if something doesn't feel right for your body, or feel right for your mind, or how you're feeling, feel free to change it or come down into a different pose, maybe child's pose or crocodile. And then let's come out how we came in. So bring the feet a bit closer together, let the hands come back down to the mid-back, keeping that dip in the knees. Just notice how your spine is feeling. And then just slowing that down, let the dip in the knees go. You might even let the hands come to you with a gentle tap. Just slowing that down. Give everything a bit of a shake again. And then we'll keep the activation pretty gentle since it's an evening class. So take the feet about shoulder width apart. We'll do a little bit of work with our figure of 8. So it's like we're making an infinity symbol pattern. Just take the hips forward and back. Feel that shift of weight over from one foot to the other. You might feel that come through your ankles. Feel that movement come up through the knees. Hips. It's like we're painting a figure of 8 on its side, with a beautiful flowing infinity symbol pattern. Feeling that movement come into the hips, pelvic area. And then you might even begin to scoop those arms through. Just notice, can you feel that movement come up the spine a little further? And then you might like to begin to reverse that figure of 8 pattern, going the other way, seeing how that feels. Maybe bringing the elbows in, begin to lead with the elbows. Might like to come out more to the side, bringing a bit of a gentle twist. You might like to bring the hands overhead. So you would like to move your body this evening. Keeping this flowing pattern going. So the breath be easy here. We need to change the breath. And then we'll begin to morph that more into a side opening pattern. So opening through one side, the weight goes on to the other heel. And stopping, the weight goes through one foot and it opens through the other side of the body. You might feel that sense of being grounded through the feet. Sense of lightness and flexibility in the top part of the body. Maybe like a tree in the breeze, in a gentle breeze. And then slowing that one down. Still bring the feet back together. We'll do a little bit of cross patterning just to cross the midline of our body and get the brain and the mind and our body all involved. So just beginning tapping one hand to the same knee. Just a bit of gentle walking on the spot. And then we're going to begin to tap the opposite hand to the opposite knee. So crossing the midline of our body, left and right sides of our brain. And you might just stay with tapping the knee, or if you're comfortable to come down to tap your ankle, bring the arms up on a bit of an angle, tapping the finger towards that ankle. And then without thinking about it too much, coming to tap the opposite heel at the back. So opposite heel to finger. And then we'll mix it up a bit and do 2 taps to the knee. And 2 taps to the ankle. And 2 taps to the heel. So getting the brain and the mind working together. And then give everything a bit of a shake. Then we might do just a little bit of spinal wave movement and some shoulder shrugs to finish our activation. So roll your chin down to your chest, let your shoulders roll down and sort of come down into a bit of a forward fold. Pausing when your in-breath is ready, Unrolling on the in-breath, coming back up. Shoulders and head come up last. And then you might turn to look to the outside and roll down one side if that's not comfortable for you, just staying with the middle. Rolling back up that side, turning over to look to the little toe on the other side, rolling down. You might wait for your in-breath to uncurl back up. And then let your out-breath roll you back down the centre. And we'll do that to each side and down the centre one more time. Just doing that to the rate of your own breath. You might wait for your inhale to roll up. Pause, maybe your exhale to roll down. Feeling into your spine, moving segmentally. Then wherever you are, when you come down the centre last time, pausing at the bottom, taking a breath here. And when you're ready to inhale, rolling back up slowly, mindfully, rolling the shoulders back and coming to stand. And we'll finish our activations with a few shoulder shrugs. So on the in-breath, shoulders shrug up towards the ears, tensing a bit. And on out-breath, let them slowly come down. Do that again, inhaling. And exhaling, one more. And then you might like to pause and just tune into your body, your mind, your breath. Let's notice how it feels after those simple activations that we start with in the Dru class. So we're going to work with energy block release 1, the foundation energy block release sequence tonight. So we'll come to stand in Tadasana or mountain posture, feet about hip width apart. And just feel that connection through the feet to your mat. You might bring your awareness up to your knees. Check in, are your knees soft, making sure you haven't locked them. And then you might bring your awareness up to your pelvis. Could it be in a place of ease and comfort if you tilt it back and forth or maybe side to side? Just notice how that affects the spine. And then you might like to take a lengthening breath in from the base of the spine. Feel yourself grow a little taller on the in-breath. And you might use the out-breath to soften the shoulders. Let the thumbs and fingers relax. And then on the in-breath, invite you to roll one shoulder up. And on the out-breath, just let it glide down the back, feeling the chest open. Doing that on the other side as you inhale, rolling it back. Exhale, let it glide down, feeling that chest nice and open here. You might like to take another lengthening breath in, feel the back of your neck lengthen a little. And the chin tuck in. And on out-breath, soften down. And one lengthening breath in from the base of the spine. Crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, you might like to take the gaze softly to the floor, or if you feel comfortable to do so, closing your eyes, doing whatever feels right for you this evening. As we just take a few moments to ground in this standing meditation. So taking your awareness back down to the feet. You might like to imagine, sense or feel that you're standing on the beautiful earth, feeling the connection through to the ground with your feet. And as you breathe in, imagine you could breathe in through the soles of the feet, up to the legs, breathing up into the body. And then as you breathe out, let that breath travel back down through the legs, out through the feet, release it into the earth. So we'll do a bit of this grounding breath. So inhaling as if you could inhale through the soles of the feet up into the body. Exhale, maybe imagining tiredness and tension washing down your legs into the earth. And you might like to add a bit of a mantra to this. As you inhale from the earth up into the body, you might say to yourself silently, I am. And as you breathe out, you might add the words here. So inhaling, I am. Exhaling, here. I am here. Just doing a couple more of those breaths in your own time. Feeling yourself grounded and connected to the earth below. And then keeping your gaze soft or the eyes closed, as we come into energy block release 1, begin to gently shift your weight forward onto your toes and then back onto your heels. So the feet aren't leaving the floor. You're just gently rocking forward and back, letting the body feel into this center of gravity, noticing how much awareness it takes, body and mind, how far forward you can come, how far back you can rock. You might feel this is a soothing rocking motion. You might feel a sense of grounding, sinking down into the heels, maybe a sense of anticipation and energy as you come up onto the toes. And then when you come forward onto the toes next, take your weight to the outside of your right foot, across your heels, outside of your left foot, and across your toes. So you'll now find that you're maybe circling in a clockwise direction, circling around your center of gravity. And as you come to the toes, you might pause and then invite you to begin to circle back the opposite direction. You might like to imagine you're circling around a still point, spiraling back to that place of stillness inside. In your own time, coming back to be still. Notice what it is like to be still after you've had those spiraling and rocking motions. So bringing the gaze up from the floor or the eyes open. As we come into EBR1, we're going to start with a side bend. So one hand comes to just below the navel, the other hand comes up overhead. If you've got sore shoulders, you can keep the hands a bit lower, lengthen through your spine, and then take a bit of a side bend to one side, keeping the elbows soft, turning the arms in a circle in front, lengthening up, and then a side bend the other way. So if you'd like to bring in the breath, you might inhale as you turn the arms and lengthen up first, and then exhale as you side bend. So inhaling, turning the arms, lengthening, exhale, side bending. So now you've got the movement and the breath. You can do these to the rate of your own breath. You don't have to keep time with me. Your breath rate will be different to mine and everyone else's. And then easing into this, feeling it in the spine, feeling the movements in the side of the body. Doing that one more time on each side. And then you might let the hands just come down by the side. If you need to give them a shake at any point, that's fine. Or if you prefer to be still, that's okay as well. So we're coming to a standing stretch now. So arms come up overhead, stretching through the whole front of the body, nice long stretch. And then let the arms float down. So we'll bring in the breath. Inhale as we lengthen up. You can come up onto your toes if you want to. And exhale, feeling the arms just softly come back down through the air. Inhale as you lengthen up. And exhale as the arms float down. Then you might like to do that one last time. Inhaling up. And as we exhale, lowering the heels and letting the arms come down to about shoulder height. As we squeeze in the shoulder blades, the elbows, the fingertips come together with the thumbs, and then we release away. So this movement is known as finger flicks. So inhaling as the arms come in, and exhaling as they release. A bit of softness in the knees. So you might see this as a releasing movement. You might like to imagine that you can let go of anything, any frustrations, releasing them on that out breath. One more. And on the out breath, let the arms float down by the sides. As we come into some arm rotation, so we rotate through our wrists, our elbows and our shoulders, feeling the front of our chest open, and then going the other way, wrists, elbows, shoulders. You might like to bring in the inhale as the chest opens, and the exhale as you go the other way. And then you might like to begin to bring the arms up a little bit higher with each of your rotations. Moving with the breath, feeling into the joints of the arms, and coming up to wherever's comfortable for your arms this evening, but no more than shoulder height. So remember, all the way up to shoulder height, taking one palm to face up and one down. And you might choose to look to that open upward palm, or you might face forward, whatever feels better for your neck, and then reversing that. So beginning to stretch from fingertip to fingertips. It's like you're wringing out all the muscles in your arms like a wet towel. Feeling into that. You might feel it in the arms, the upper back. And then bringing both hands, palms to face up, and then we'll work the arms back down, how we came up, work them down symmetrically. Easing back down. Bring the arms back down to the side. And maybe give them a little shake if you need to. Then we're going to come into a little bit of shoulder circling. So let the fingertips come onto your shoulders, the elbows come in towards the midline of the body. And then we kind of open the chest, roll the shoulders back. You might like to bring an inhale as the chest opens and an exhale as you come forward. There's a little bit of softness in the knees. You might notice a bit of a spinal wave with this movement. Feeling into the shoulder joints, shoulder blades, chest opening. And then the next time you come forward, pause. And then we're going to reverse that and notice how that feels to take the shoulders back the other way. Releasing any tension if you've been sitting at the desk all day or standing. If you want to do one more. And then let the hands come down by the sides. Once again, you can give them a bit of a shake if you need to. And maybe just check in with the feet, the knees. Just checking in with your posture. Take a lengthening breath in, up. As we come into a series of 3 neck movements. So if you have any issues with your neck, just going really easy with them and not holding in any of the stretches. So the first one, we're going to let the chin drop down towards the chest and then roll the vertebra of the neck to come back to face forward. So bring in the breath, the out breath brings the chin down to the chest, and the inhale, we roll back up. So just doing this a couple more times to the rate of your own breath. Feeling into your neck, feeling all the little vertebra realigning, making some space between them. You might feel this in the muscles at the side of the neck. And then making this one your last one. Rolling back up. And then a second neck movement. Bring your awareness to that bony point behind your ear there. And lengthen up through your neck first, and then take that point down over to the shoulder. Then come back to center. Lengthen up first, and go in the other way. Coming back to center, you might like to breathe out as you stretch through the side of the neck. Breathing in as you come back to center. And just doing that a couple more times to the rate of your own breath. If you'd like a stronger stretch, you can sort of push that opposite arm down and away. And just feeling into those muscles. We have a lot of tension in the neck. This might feel good, or it might not. And then coming back to center. Our final neck movement is a little mini twist for the neck. So just remembering not to strain here. Don't go any further than that first point of resistance. So we're going to twist from the base of the neck and kind of look over one shoulder. And then we'll come back to face forward. Do that the other way. You might exhale as the head twists around to look over the shoulder. Inhale back to the front. So doing that a couple more times. Out breath, twist you around. You might pause. And then in breath brings you back. And just working with your own body, noticing how one side is to the other, not straining, no straining. Yeah, your place moving towards ease and comfort. And then making this last one, and then coming back to the center. Then we're going to come into a little bit of a spinal twist. So let your hands come up in front, keeping the elbows soft, the shoulders soft. And we're going to begin to twist from the base of the spine. So twisting from the base of the spine, and let that hand trace up the opposite arm to your shoulder. And then let the arm trace down as you unwind from the base of the spine to come back to the front. So doing that again. Twist comes to the base of the spine up. Arm twisting coming back to the front. So if you'd like to bring in the breath, let your exhale twist you around. When your inhale is ready to come, coming back to the front. Just doing this movement to the rate of your own breath. Listening to your own body. Once again, not straining, just into this twist. And the next time you come around, you could stay with that, or if you want to turn the foot out, come up into the back toes, and let that twist come a little deeper. You come back to face forward, turn the other foot out, back toes on the other side. Do that a couple more times. Just notice if it lets you come a little bit deeper into that twist. When you exhale, twist you around. And when you inhale, bring you back to the front. And then the next time you come around, you might even like to bring the back hand to the lower back. Back, doing the feet, adding in that hand, coming to the lower back on the other side. And then we'll do that one last time on each time. You might even like to take a breath in the twist. Take an inhale here. Exhale, see if you can nudge that top elbow a little bit more. And then when you're ready to inhale, coming forward. Doing that to the other side last time. Maybe inhaling here, taking a breath, using the out breath to soften into the twist. And then when you're ready to inhale, coming back to the front. Let the arms come down, you might give them a bit of a shake. We're going to come into a little bit of backward and forward bending now. So bring the hand to the lower back, hands to the lower back. You might even like to just give that area a bit of a rub, warming into the kidneys and the adrenals. So we've got our hands sort of just at the lower back. Then we're going to do a little bit of gentle backward forward bending. So taking a bit of, pushing back into the hands, bending the elbows, lifting the sternum, tucking in the chin, and just kind of easing into a bit of a slight back bend. Then folding forward from the hips, coming down a little way, pushing through the feet, bending the knees, uncurling from the base of the spine, coming back up into a mild back bend. Just easing into this, you might let your whole out breath fold you forward. Pushing through the feet, bending the knees, inhale, rolls you back up. Just easing into this, listening to your own body. You might come down a little bit further each time. Might bring a little bit more back bend in, or you just might keep it a nice gentle movement. Either way, you'll feel the benefits of this spinal wave movement. Just doing that to the rate of your own breath. As the exhale folds you forward, and the inhale rolls you up. And then the next time you fold forward, let the hands trace down the back of the legs. You might take the feet a little bit wider apart. Your hands could be on your legs. You could cradle the elbows. The hands can come to the floor. Maybe just check in with your neck. You might say, shake your head yes and no. Just notice, is there any tension in the neck, the head? You might even like to sway a little gently side to side in this forward fold. And then coming to be still. And then turn one of your feet out about 45 degrees. Walk the hands crossed to either side of the foot. You might even lift up slightly. Drape your abdomen down over this thigh. Take a breath in here. And then a breath out as you come into this forward fold on one side with the hamstring stretch. You can have that front knee a little bent. The hands can be on the legs. And just breathing easy in this forward fold. Then walking the hands back, foot faces forward, turning the other foot out 45 degrees. You might lift up slightly, lower back down on this side. Take a breath in. You might feel the back of the body expand a bit. softening breath out. See if you can yield down a little more to the earth. And just breathing easy. And turning the foot to face forward, pivoting them back to about hip width apart. Take a breath here in this forward fold, peace posture. And then when you're all ready to breathe in, beginning to unroll from the base of the spine. Shoulders, head come up last, rolling the shoulders back. And pausing for a moment. Just noticing your breath. Noticing the body. Notice the mind. And then I invite you to bring that awareness down into crocodile or Makarasana on the mat, coming to lie on your tummy. If lying on your tummy doesn't feel okay for you, you're welcome to lie on your side or your back. Or you could come into child pose, but otherwise coming to lie on your stomach. Your feet are kind of shoulder width apart, the heels are in, the toes out. And you can make a nice place with the forehead. So the crocodile pose is the posture of letting go. So you might like to take a breath in. And then on an out breath, maybe letting go from the abdomen. Softening. You might even take a few more breaths in and out, feeling the abdomen rise, expand. And then soften on the out breath. You might even choose to sigh that breath out on the exhale. Seeing if you can let go of any holding. With each out breath, letting the body soften a little more. You might even like to imagine that you're lying out on the beautiful warm earth itself. Beautiful warm sun warming the back of your heart. And with each in-breath, feeling that connection through to the earth. And with each out-breath, you might imagine you could let go of anything that's troubling you, anything that doesn't serve you, letting it go through the abdomen into the earth. And then breathing in that grounding, nourishing breath through the abdomen from the earth below. And just take a few moments to rest and digest all the movements that we've made in Energy Block Release 1. All that movement. This is the time for it to settle in the body. Letting it settle in the layers of your being. You might notice the physical body where your attention's taken. You might notice the effect on the energetic or the subtle layer, maybe the breath, the inhale, the exhale. And just resting, bring your attention back to the breath. Let the breath be smooth and slow and even. And then when you feel ready, I'm going to invite you to come back into child pose in a way that works for you. So you might bring the feet back together and tuck your toes under. Your hands might come under the shoulders as you push back kindly into child pose. The knees can be together. The knees might be apart to make some space for the abdomen. You might choose to have the hands out in front and the forehead on the floor. You might make a little pillar for the forehead with your fists. Or if you'd like a more nourishing version, you might bring the arms down by the sides, palms facing up. So whichever version of the child pose you've taken, just taking a few breaths, feeling the safety, the connection in this pose. And if this posture isn't comfortable for you, feel free to roll over onto the back, maybe hug your knees into your chest instead. Get the same effect. And then when you're ready, on an in-breath, rolling up from the base of the spine, coming up to sitting or kneeling. No hurry. Coming up in your own time, maybe having a sip of water while you're there. So we're going to come to standing in a moment to work with the Dru salutation to the earth sequence. With a beautiful grounding focus and sending our love and gratitude to the earth. So when you're ready, coming up to standing. And then just readjusting to standing, feeling that connection through to the feet, maybe having a bit of a shake, coming back into our mountain posture, feet about hip width apart, knees are soft, spine extended, rolling the shoulders back. And we're going to come into this earth sequence, the flowing earth sequence. So you might want to re-engage your core muscles. So on an out breath, pulling up through your pelvic floor muscles, pulling the abdominal muscles on. So like you're pulling the skin away from your clothing a little, feeling that corset of support around the middle. And then you might like to soften the gaze or maybe even close the eyes for a few breaths. Just tuning in to the earth. Maybe imagining your favourite place to be on this earth. You could imagine it's a beautiful sequence to do outside. You might even like to imagine you're right there, right now. Having a sense of gratitude, grounding connection through to the earth. Then bring the gaze up or the eyes open if you close them as we come into beginning these movements. The hands come to the base. You can have the fingertips touching here or you can have them interlaced, whichever feels more comfortable for your hands. And then the physical movement is we draw the hands up towards the throat, then we turn the palms down, push down to around the base, and then we extend the arms up in front, and then we let the arms float down through the air. So that's the basic movement. So let's bring in the breath. We'll inhale up to the throat, exhale as we push down to the base, inhale, lengthening up above the head, and on the exhale, let the arms float down. So doing these movements a couple more times and doing them to the rate of your own breath. So you might move slower than me, you might move faster than me. Just see if you can let your whole in breath bring your hands up, the whole out breath push the hands down, the whole in breath they come up, and the whole out breath they float down. That one more time. And then pausing with the hands facing the earth. So you can stay with that movement. Now we're going to add in a little bit of a squat. So going easy with your knees. So inhaling up to the throat, exhaling down to the base, squatting a little, scooping down towards the earth, pushing through the knees, inhaling, coming back up. Exhale, arms float down. So inhaling up. Exhale, pushing down, squatting, scooping up from the earth, lengthening up through the spine. Out breath, the arms float down. As you come down towards the earth this time, you might like to imagine you're scooping up your favourite earthy colour and then letting that colour surround you on the out breath. Do that one more time. Scooping up a bit more of that earthy colour. Imagine it showering down around you. And pausing with the hands facing the earth. So that the next movement we're going to bring in is similar but more of a forward fold. So inhale up to the throat, exhale folding forwards down towards the earth, then bending the knees, lengthening up, and the arms float down. So inhaling, exhale, coming down to the earth, inhale, pushing up, lengthening up to the sky, exhale, arms release down. Doing that to the rate of your own breath. This time you might like to imagine you can scoop up a quality of the earth that resonates with you. It might be peace, calm, grounded. And just imagine that quality can just surround you on the out breath. Doing that one more time. And then the arms float down and pausing again. So we're now going to do a bit of movement to each side. So taking the feet about shoulder width apart, turning your right foot out, dropping the left heel back, getting your balance. And then we're going to turn to face that way. Hands come to the base. We inhale up towards the throat, like that bend. Exhale down towards the navel, then bend that front knee and come up into a bit of a diagonal. And then exhale, the arms float down. So inhale, hands up to the throat. Exhale down to the base. Inhale, lengthening, front knee bends. Exhale, releasing. So doing that a couple more times on your own rate of your own breath. Feeling that sense of connection to the sky above, the earth below. One more time. And then turning to face forward. And then we'll do that to the other side. So turning the other foot out, dropping that back heel back, just making sure your knee isn't going to overshoot your big toe. Getting your balance. Hands come to the base. Inhale up to the throat. Exhale, push down to the base. Inhale, front knee bends, lengthening on a diagonal, fingertips to toes. Exhale, releasing. So inhale, exhaling, inhale, lengthen, exhale, releasing. So just doing that a couple more times, the rate of your own breath. Feeling when you get onto that diagonal, that connection through from the back toe to the feet. Arms above. Maybe imagining light shining down through the arms, the hands, all the way down to that back foot. One more time, making this your last one. And then turning the feet back to face forward, pivoting them back to about hip width apart. And then we'll just finish with the first round, just with the arm movement. So doing this in silence and to the rate of your own breath. And making this the last one. And then the arms float down through the air on the out breath. And maybe pausing with the palms facing the earth. Maybe softening the gaze or closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. And just tune in to how your body feels. You might feel a sense of feeling safe and secure and grounded. Maybe sensations of peace and harmony within your heart. You might even like to send peace and harmony to Mother Earth and all living beings. And letting the gaze come up or the eyes open. So we're going to finish with a 15-minute relaxation. So getting what you need to be comfortable. Getting a bolster for under your knees maybe. You might like to put a blanket over your body. You're welcome to keep your eyes open or closed during this relaxation, whatever feels more comfortable for you. So I will be guiding you through this meditation. And since you're in the comfort of your own home at the end, if you feel like lying there and staying there, that's okay as well. If you have any lower back pain, so if you're coming to lie on your back with bolsters and you might have a blanket under your head for a bit of support, taking those options to be comfortable. But if you do have any lower back issues, you can stay in the constructive rest pose with the knees bent, the feet flat on the floor. So just taking whatever is comfortable for you. And then once you are comfortable on the mat, just check in with the body. Notice, is it evenly aligned on the floor? Is there any little adjustments you could make at this point to be more comfortable? And then you might like to take a few deep breaths. So some deep belly breaths. As you breathe in, you might feel the belly expand. And as you breathe out, let the belly soften. You might even like to exhale through the mouth or even sigh the breath out. And doing that a couple more times, you might inhale. This time you might feel the belly, you might feel the breath expand up into the chest a little. And then reversing that, softening the belly, softening the chest on the out breath. And then maybe let the breath return to its regular pattern. No need to change the breath. Just observe your inhale. Observe your exhale. Let the breath be smooth and even. You might let the exhale lengthen a little. You might even like to add in some words or a mantra to your breath. So you might have words that you like to use yourself, or invite you to maybe consider the word peace on the inhale and calm on the exhale. So affirming to yourself silently, peace on the inhale and calm on the exhale. Then let that breath practice go and the breath just be back to a regular pattern. So I'm going to invite you, this first part of this relaxation, as we relax the physical body, to move through a progressive muscle relaxation. You don't have to do that. If you feel really comfortable and relaxed, that's okay. But I do invite you to try tensing parts of your body as you inhale and soften them as you exhale. Just see if you can ease into a softer and deeper relaxation. So on an in-breath, you might imagine that breath coming in through the crown of the head, down through the body, all the way to the toes on both feet. And you might like to curl the toes on both feet under on an inhale, and then relax the toes away on the exhale. Then letting that movement go, let your awareness come up to the ankles. So keeping both heels of the feet on the floor, just softly rotating the ankles one way and then the other. And then letting that movement go. You might like to then begin to push your heels away on both feet and point your toes away. So pointing and flexing. You might feel the tension come up the front of the legs, the back of the legs. And then letting that movement go. On your next inhale, draw the backs of both knees down towards your mat or bolster, tensing the lower legs, the upper legs. And then on an out breath, let both legs soften. The feet might flop out to the side a little. Both legs a little softer on the mat. Then I invite you to let your awareness come up to the level of the hips, the buttocks. You might even squeeze the buttocks together on an in-breath and feel your hips rise a little. And see if you can use the out-breath to let the hips, the buttocks, the gluteal muscles soften. Letting your awareness come up to the soft front part of your body. And as you breathe in, you might like to draw the belly button down towards the spine, flattening the front of your body a little. And as you breathe out, let the abdomen relax and soften again. On your next inhale, expand the belly this time like a balloon. Breath might even expand up into the chest, the whole front of the body expanding a little. And then reversing that on the out breath, a long, slow exhale. You might exhale through the mouth, the nose, as the belly softens, the chest softens. Your whole front of your abdomen a little softer. As you let the awareness now come to the back of the body. On an in-breath, you might push your lower back gently into your mat, flattening out that curve. And then on an out-breath, letting the gentle curve return of the lower back. The next in-breath, the awareness comes to the upper back. You might gently squeeze the shoulder blades together on an in-breath, feeling the chest rise a little. And then use your out-breath to let the shoulders slide away. Just notice as your whole back or maybe a little bit softer on your mat. Maybe checking in with your shoulders if you can still feel some tension there. Maybe shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears on the in-breath. And then relaxing them down and away on the out-breath. You might like to let the next breath come into the crown of the head and imagine it traveling down both arms to the fingers and thumbs. And as you might choose to gently create a soft fist with the hands, giving the thumbs a bit of a squeeze of the fingers. And then you might rotate through the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders one way, and then the other, like you're wringing out all the muscles in the arms. And then you might like to stretch the fingers wide, lengthen the arms down and away, put a bit of tension in the arms on the in-breath. And on the out-breath, let the arms gently come back to the floor. They might be by your sides, a little bit out from the body. You might have the palms facing up, just wherever feels comfortable for your arms. And let your awareness come up to the neck. Maybe check in, am I holding any tension in my neck? Could I make any movements here if needed? You might gently roll the head one way and then the other. Or you might prefer to tuck the chin in, lengthen the back of the neck against your mat. And then letting the head be centrally balanced. Your nose lined up with your navel. As you bring your awareness up to the mouth, the jaw, you might like to notice, is there any tension in the jaw? Could I maybe open the mouth or move the jaw from side to side? Maybe bring on a yawn. Whatever you would like to do to release tension in the mouth, the jaw. And then let the mouth be gently closed. As you bring your awareness to the rest of the face, you might like to scrunch all the muscles of the face in towards the nose on the in-breath, and then relax away on the out-breath. Invite you to let your awareness come up to the forehead. You might raise the eyebrows and then release. Seeing if you can let the forehead, the scalp, even the back of the head relax. And then in your mind's eye, you might like to scan your whole body from head down to the feet. Maybe moving in any way you need to release any remaining tension before you settle into stillness. You might let that next out breath, imagine it could wash down the front of your body like a wave of relaxation from head to feet. And then allow the body to be still. As you relax the subtle body, you might notice which parts of your body you're aware of, or maybe which parts of your body you could let go and soften a little more. Notice if you can find some heaviness in your feet, your ankles, your legs. And you notice how the surface below the earth even below you is supporting your legs. Now the earth is providing a foundation for your body to rest, safe and secure. What else could you soften right now? You might let the awareness rise up to the hips. Maybe see if you can let the lower back, the sacrum, let that area soften a little more. You maybe bring a bit of softness to the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the backs of the hands, the fingers and thumbs. Then bringing your attention to the soft front part of the body. You might feel your belly, your chest, softening down to the back body. Feel the front of your throat softening down to the back of the neck. Feel your face, your forehead softening to the back of the head. And as you rest in stillness, you might like to affirm to yourself, I am safe and secure. I am safe and secure. And I'll leave you to rest for a couple of minutes in silence, and then you'll hear my voice again. You might like to imagine, sense or feel a gentle light just above the crown of your head. It might be the beautiful sun, the glimmering moon, or a radiant star. And on an in-breath, you might like to imagine you can let this gentle flowing light enter through the crown of your head, imagining it charging up all the cells in your head with refreshing vitality. I like to imagine that vibrant life force traveling down the neck, across your shoulders, and imagine it sparkling and flowing down both arms, hands, all the way to the fingers. In breath, you might draw this beautiful light down in through the heart, the chest, the belly. Imagining this light filling every cell with radiant health. On in-breath, maybe imagining drawing that light down the spine, and that it can fill your spine with both strength and flexibility. Letting this renewed life force travel down both legs, thighs, calves, ankles, feet, all the way to the toes. Invite you to maybe deepen the breath. And on an out breath, you might sense that every part of your being is refreshed. You might like to bring your awareness back to the physical body as it lies here in your place of relaxation. The points of contact with the floor. Sensations of clothing or blankets on your skin. Noticing and welcoming any sounds, any sensations, welcoming them back. And then I invite you to begin to bring a little bit of gentle movement back into your body. You might wiggle your fingers and toes. You might rotate your wrists and ankles. And then beginning to stretch and move your body in a way that feels right for you this evening. You might like to hug the knees into the chest and give them a bit of a rock from side to side, or you might have an overall body stretch, stretching up. Whatever feels good. There's no hurry. In your own time, I invite you to roll onto your right side and just pause here, take a few more breaths, letting the body adjust, the lungs, the nervous system, the heart, and expressing gratitude for taking time to practice yoga, to come home to yourself this evening. And while you're resting there on your right side, a quote from Debashish Marinda. Yoga is the dance of every cell with the music of every breath that creates inner serenity and harmony. So in your own time, I invite you to use your hands to push yourself up kindly and gently to come up to sitting. Keeping the gaze soft. All the eyes closed. And as you come back up to sitting, I invite you to begin to rub your palms together. We're going to palm the eyes. And it's in the moment feeling into that sensation, the physical warmth of the skin of the palms rubbing together, getting them nice and warm. And then placing those warm palms over your eyes. You can have the eyes closed or open. You might like to open the eyes into this warm space. Giving the eyes a little bit of break, having a sense of gratitude for the vision that we have. And maybe letting the hands lower down, the light filter back in. You might like to give yourself a bit of a tap on the temples or a massage, the temples, the scalp. And then I invite you to draw your hands down either over or on your heart space. As we finish with our 3 Oms, which you're welcome to join in at home. I will keep us on mute while we do this, or you can just receive the benefits of them. So if you'd like to join in, taking your breath in. And you might like to bring the palms together, thumbs touching your sternum, giving that sense of connection of the left and right sides of our body in unity. I invite you to bow your mind towards your heart. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Om Shanti, 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 Om. Thank you, everyone. I'm happy to stay around after class on Zoom for if there's any questions, but otherwise have a lovely evening. Thank you.